Just not getting it.
Rio, the new Dr. Phil.
And we are back.
Man, this is a real podcast. You know why? Because it's the Loft Party Podcast. And I'm just saying.
The views and opinions expressed by the Loft Party Podcast panel participants and guests do not necessarily reflect those of the Good Times of Good People Company, the host, or its sponsors.
Welcome, everybody out there in podcast land. The Good Times with Good People Company proudly presents the Loft Party Podcast, where it is always about good times, good people, and good talk. Now that you've received your invitation, the best way to let us know that you're in attendance is to download the party or become official by joining us on Facebook, subscribing on YouTube, iTunes Podcasts, or Google Play Podcasts. Good. Thanks for joining us. Grab a cocktail, light a cigar, or whatever you like to smoke. Share us with your friends, and make yourself at home. I'm your host and moderator, Rio, and let's introduce today's panel. Hey out there in podcast land, what's good? I'm your host, Rio, and welcome to the Loft Party Podcast, episode 105, In Their Natural Habitat. First and foremost, let me welcome our listeners in Spain and Canada. Thank you all for telling a friend and joining the party. Now, have you ever gone somewhere and found yourself completely out of your element? So much so that it was uncomfortable, but you had to stay for a while and people watch because it was almost as if you were watching something in its natural habitat. So, before we get started, let's introduce today's panel. And today I have got Big Dave Elliott, owner of C&P Construction. I've got Ben Roberts. He's our bartender extraordinaire here at the Pendergast Club. I've got Jordan Bradbury. Of course, he is industrial sales and the creator of the Genuine Alchemist brand. And returning after a long hiatus, Mr. Chris Kipp. He is in automation sales, and that's all we're going to say about that because he doesn't want you honing in and trying to steal his business. So, before we get into important things, let's get into important things. And, of course, that starts with what are we drinking? And today we are drinking the Tale of Two Cities. And we are going to have our bartender, Ben, explain what a Tale of Two Cities is.
This is a whiskey cocktail, 1.5 ounce Rieger Kansas City whiskey, finished in an oil roasted sherry cask. Then we got 0.75 ounces of Big O. Big O is a locally Missouri sourced ginger liqueur. If you haven't had it, you can get a hold of it, check it out. It's delicious. 0.75 ounce Campari, which is an Italian bitter aperitif. Stir over ice and strain into a chilled coupe glass and garnish with a lemon twist. Fantastic.
So, now that we know what we are drinking, the next question, of course, is, so what are we smoking? And today is the Regius Exclusivo U.S.A. Pressed Perfecto. That is number 21 on Cigar Aficionado's Top 25 list of 2017. It has got some full, earthy, like cocoa notes. And to tell you the truth, a little bit of like pistachio nuttiness in the finish. If you know anything, this particular Figurado is closed at both ends, which is what makes it a Perfecto. Damn good smoke. Actually reasonably priced at $12.95. Nicaraguan wrapper, binder, and filler. Great drink, great smoke. I think we're ready for some good talk. So, now that we know what we're drinking and what we're smoking, normally we'd move on to our R.I.Ps. And I was scanning and didn't run across anything that I particularly thought that anybody out there in podcast land would know off the top of their head, unless somebody at the table knows of anybody that passed this week that podcast land would know anything about.
Summertime, everybody's hot and alive.
Hey, that's all right with me. Which brings us to our happy birthdays. Today, Tom Hanks turned 61.
So let's have to talk about Tom.
Okay.
You know, that guy is probably one of the most phenomenal actors of our generation.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
His talent.
His range.
And how he gets into his different characters and what he does, and you know, it's just unbelievable what he can play.
Absolutely.
Well, and just what a class act.
Oh yeah,
Super nice guy.
Yeah, super
I
nice
think
guy.
he's real. You know,
Yeah,
I think we
is.
see. Even though we maybe never met him, we like to definitely think he's a nice guy.
But when you see interviews with him, you really
like a
do
real dude.
seem like you're really getting him.
You get a sense of the man.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
That's a good point, Ben.
So, also, the Juice, O.J. Simpson, is
Also get a sense of the man.
also having a full
talk about the Juice, too.
having a full sense of the man is 70. Across the pond, Prince William is 36 today. So just imagine, knowing that probably 10 years maybe giving him too little, but definitely the next 20 years, you will be king. That's a lot to know if you're Prince Williams.
Yeah.
That's a lot to know.
And I think he'll be a good king.
Yeah,
Better king than his dad would.
I'm not necessarily looking forward to the reign of Prince Charles, but I also don't think he's gonna live as long as his mother. So I don't see.
She's an icon.
Yeah.
Going the distance.
So for all you rock fans out there, we got a couple for you. Kourtney Love is 53.
Now, let's back off on that one too here a little bit.
Yeah.
All right, you saw what Kourtney Love looked like back when she was Kurt Cobain.
Yeah.
I would like to see a picture of Kourtney Love now. You know? She wasn't too bad looking, you know, a little slutty, but
I don't know if age has done her well.
I don't know if age has done her well or not, but I'd be a little surprised.
Yeah, I would. I actually would be surprised if she's looking.
I don't see the aging going on there.
Yeah, I don't see her aging like wine. I don't want to say she's aging like milk.
A lot of Botox.
Yeah, I don't want to say she's aging like milk, but I don't know if she's aging like wine either. So, and then Jack White,
Phenomenal musician.
42 today. Another one of those that I felt old when I found out his age because I didn't realize he was younger than me. So now that we know what we're drinking or what we're smoking, God bless. There are no R.I.Ps this week, and we've said our happy birthdays. We'll be right back. Hey, you can search for the Loft Party Podcast on iTunes Podcasts, Google Play Podcasts, and on our Good Times with Good People YouTube channel. You can follow us on Instagram and Facebook, tweet us on Twitter, and if you like the content we provide, donate to us on Patreon. www.patreon.com/Loft Party Podcast. You can find all of our links below. And now back to our regularly scheduled program. All right, and we are back. And before we get too deep, let's play a quick party game. So, what's in your music playlist right now that is completely out of character, or at least something that would surprise people that you own? And we're going to start with Big Dave.
I think it'd probably Herb Albert and the Tijuana Brass. They were a 60s group. Herb Albert played a very clean trumpet.
Yeah.
You know, and they really had a little bit of Mexican sound to them. They would definitely have some horns in the background. So they're one of their most famous songs is Taste of Honey. And they had several songs that were Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, This Man's in Love, sung by Burt Bacharach. He also wrote a lot of the songs.
Yeah.
You know, they had Ride was more of a disco song that he had, and you know, Lonely Bull was just another good song I can think of. They're it's good Sunday morning listening.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's kind of peppy and good mix of music, and then When I'm having a bad day, there's nothing like the 3 tenors to drive around to. And
Okay.
blast it up in the truck, and 3 tenors have to be listened to with
Okay.
volume, that type of stuff.
Okay.
I sing very badly, but I sing.
Okay. I think a song I remember from Herb Alpert, I think I was saying during the break, there's a song he had with Janet Jackson called "Keep Your Eye on Me." That I used to love that album. I actually had that album. That was a great album. I think that might have been the name of the album, but I can't remember off the top of my head. But I remember that song was "Keep Your Eye on Me." That was a great record. Ben?
I don't know if there's anything in my repertoire that's particularly surprising. But, say off the beaten path, I find myself particularly enjoying a lot of synthwave and darkwave, which is sort of that Miami outrun sort of aesthetic, like heavily synth and beat driven.
Right.
A lot of that stuff, and then take that and then go even darker.
Okay.
If that makes sense, a more what's the word I'm looking for?
Heavy metallic, synthetic.
Yeah, and just really hard and dark. So that's a lot of fun. I mean, otherwise I can't think of anything else to do. I still have my guilty pleasure, Carly Rae Jepsen.
Okay, good. Now that is what I'm looking for. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the guilty pleasure of Carly Rae Jepsen.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious. Anybody who so knowing Ben, hearing what he threw out there first, knowing that in his collection is Carly Rae Jepsen is probably more surprising than anything else.
Every once in a while, when I'm inebriated a bit, I'll just throw on some "Call Me Maybe" and go.
Oh yeah. Call Me Maybe is the most tested record in the history of records.
And it speaks by a million.
And there was which is of course the reason it was that big a hit. Like they tested it within an inch of its life, and to the point that by the time they finished it and released it, it was no way you weren't going to like this song. It just was what it was.
Unless you were just annoyed at the sheer testedness of it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Which anybody with more eclectic musical taste really should hate it.
Yeah.
For everything that it is, but I don't.
But look, I've told many of people, during that time period, that first Kesha album was definitely my super guilty pleasure. It was just fun and no redeeming qualities whatsoever. But it was just a fun record to listen to, and I liked it a lot.
By the way, have you heard Beck's album from last year?
I have not yet.
You should listen to that.
Okay.
Beck stepped up again?
Okay.
Yeah, he pulled out a pop album.
Actually,
Who's that, Beck?
Beck.
Jeff.
I actually saw that he's going to be at Starlight pretty soon.
Oh, I would love to
He
go to that
pulled
show.
out. Yeah,
He headlined
He
for U2
that's right.
during the U2 concert. I found him a very interesting artist to listen to.
Okay.
Well, his discography is incredible. But his latest album was a pop album. I heard it for the first time on 4th of July.
Okay.
While we were partying up on that rooftop.
Yeah.
Elisa pulled it out, and I was like, huh.
All right.
Yeah, it was just clean.
Okay. All right. Not bad at it.
Anyway, sorry, moving on.
Jordan?
I guess my thing is it's not. There's no lyrics here. It's wave, like binaural wave frequencies for your meditation music. Yeah, I've been doing that a lot lately. I do a lot of yoga on the low. I don't know if I ever told you guys that.
Okay, see, we're finding out new stuff here.
Coming out of the closet on it.
Do that on the low. That's just good for you.
It is. People usually don't realize that I'm really heavy into it. So yeah, I just like meditation frequencies. I kind of ride to that sometimes. Just listen to that just when I'm out, at the house, just winding down. So frequency, healing tones, specific megahertz and so on. So
Awesome.
that's what it is. That's my thing.
Cool.
Mr. Kip.
Yeah, just some old flashbacks there. Just thing that popped in my head was the old Play That Funky Music White Boy by Wild Cherry, you know,
Okay.
when I was like 14 and had the albums and going and
Somebody
it still takes you back.
Somebody turn around and tell them, play that funky music, white boy. They'll be mad.
I know. Being a fan of R&B, I listen to that nowadays, and I hear it on the radio, and it somewhat makes me cringe. I hate to say that, but it's kind of like, you know, there's a bunch of Jersey boys there.
It's just a ubiquitous.
They were from Jersey.
It's just
all
a
right?
ubiquitous party record. It's just like if
It
you
was
go,
a great party.
if
record.
you go to a wedding or something, like that record's going to get played.
Yes.
Period.
Especially the Midwest.
Oh, good gravy.
It was like a late 70s, early 80s version of Frankie Valli, you know. It was a bunch of Jersey boys trying to do disco.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I watched Jersey Boys about a week ago. I hadn't watched it since it came out, but I actually forgot how the movie itself. I wouldn't say was like a cinematic tour de force, but it was a fun watch. And for me, thing I found when I just kind of rooted through my playlist a little bit and forgot that I had was The Clash, Rock the Casbah.
Yeah.
And
I was.
She ain't gonna like it.
Yeah.
Should I go now?
Oh yeah.
That's one of my.
So,
I'm a big Clash fan. I get into that.
Yeah. So, you know, I surprised myself because I forgot that was in my playlist. So, with that, we'll be right back. Hey out there in podcast land, we would not be doing our duty if we didn't acknowledge the sponsors of the Loft Party Podcast, the Majestic Restaurant and Jazz Club, and the Majestic's Pendergast Club. The Majestic carries on Kansas City's tradition of great food and jazz. Let them show you why they are the classic Kansas City steakhouse experience. 931 Broadway, just 3 blocks from the Kansas City Convention Center. J. Rieger & Company, a Kansas City distillery. Whether whiskey, gin, or vodka, neat or on the rocks, J. Rieger, Kansas City, sipping good since 1887. C&P Construction, Kansas City's premier wood framers. 50 years of quality framing and craftsmanship. Just email david.cnpservice@gmail.com and start building something new today. And our friend and frequent guest, Lane Boland. Thank you all for all that you do.